Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, like I talked about in my last video, this is actually my third video of the day, but I felt like I had to make this one. A lot of people have been asking more and more about TNT. My TNT videos have the most views, so I feel like TNT is like this weird, like, I don't know, like there's not a lot of whole information about it, so they don't know like what exactly that it means. Um, and there's every time I talk to somebody, I always get like a different answer, what they think TNT is, right? So I'm going to go through a full breakdown from the time that you get your purple badge until the time you basically get onto your trainer's truck and what all that means and what you'll need, what I did, etc. Right? So this is basically how it goes. You finish PSD, right? You do your CDL test, and congrats, you passed, and take a picture and all that crap, right? And they do all that. And then you go inside, there's a guy or girl. The one that did my badge, it was on a weekend, so it was a guy. And I think during the week, there's a couple girls there. So the person working the desk, you give them your information, the paperwork that you've already brought, right? They tell you to bring it every day because you never know. Anyways, you give them your paperwork, whatever, and you give them your stuff, and they, long story short, they basically give you your purple badge. They give you they explain to you how to activate your comm data card and all that stuff. Okay, so then they give you a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, depending on the division you're in, they want you to send an email to there, and it has instructions like put your name and all that stuff, and basically what you're doing is letting them know, hey, I finished, and I need a trainer. Now, before you've done that, when you were in orientation, you did what do they call it, a personality test. That personality test, let me tell you right now, is complete and utter bullshit. Doesn't do anything for you. You can go and talk to 10 different people that were in TNT, and I guarantee you most of them had switched trainers at some point, right? No, that personality test is complete bullshit. It doesn't work. I think in their mind, they believe that it does work. It doesn't work. So anyways, based on that, and then based on where you live, like your location, based on whether you're a smoker or not, etc., they match you up with somebody, right? And typically, I think when you're a smoker, they kind of just match you up with a smoker, that's someone in your state, right? So they do consider vaping smoking. So if you vape, you're considered a smoker, so you might get on someone's truck who smokes cigarettes. It is what it is. Get over it. So once you send an email, they go to match you up with somebody. There's no process of like, do you like this guy? What about this one? Blah, blah, blah. It's nothing like that. They literally, they'll let you know, hey, we're looking for somebody, and they'll respond back to you and say, okay, we got it. And then it could be a day, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a week, it could be a few months. Who knows? It could be anywhere between 1 day and I'd say 2 weeks. Up to 2 weeks. Anything longer than that, you're talking that's too long, right? So, but it's not unheard of, right? It's not unheard of, especially now with trainers not really wanting to train. So, once they say, hey man, he's gonna go, hey, what's up? I'm so and so, and I'm your trainer, and you'll get to know each other and all that stuff, right? At that, at that point in time, that's when you need to talk to your trainer about a couple things. Now, if you have a CPAP machine, you need to tell him about your CPAP machine. That way he knows and can clear out a space or a plug for your machine. As a trainer, he has to do that. He can't be like, oh, well, sorry, I don't have enough plugs and blah, blah. Too fucking bad. That's something he has to plan for. The second thing is you need to ask him about the bathroom situation. Are we going to stop if I need to use the restroom? I say I wake up and I need to stop. I need to use the restroom. Are we going to stop? Or do I need to bring in some type of jug? That's one of the things you need to ask. The third thing, you need to ask about home time. When are we going to take home time? Can I take home time when I need to take home time? Well, actually, you don't even have to ask that because you can take home time whenever the hell you want to take home time. You don't have to go when he goes home. Does it make it easier? Yeah, but sometimes it depends. My first trainer lived in Arizona. I lived in Texas, so it really isn't that easy. It's kind of a weird route. He'd have to go from Texas to here to there. It's weird. So, you need to talk about home time and how that works for you guys. If you don't want to take home time, great. You don't have to take home time. You can stay out the whole time until you get your training miles done. So it's just whatever works for you and your trainer. The fourth thing you need to ask about is what you need to bring on the truck. Okay, now I can tell you right now, every division is different. Now imagine if you're a reefer driver, you are mainly inside the truck. You're hardly almost ever out of the truck. I think the most you'll get out of the truck is when you'll hook up or disconnect from a trailer or when you open the doors, but that's it. You're not really getting out of the truck very often, maybe to get out to walk to the truck stop. So you don't really need a whole lot of outside clothes, right? You don't need lots of rain jackets and sweaters and thick clothes and pants and all that stuff. Well, you need them like in the wintertime. Yeah, it's probably gonna get cold. But you just plan for that. Say, oh, well, man, I'm going on the truck and it's December, January. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I could end up in Wyoming, could end up in Seattle. It's gonna be cold in a lot of places. So bring some sweats and a couple pairs of pants, right? Now, like I said, it all depends on the division you're in. Now, a tanker, you're outside a little bit. You do get outside. You got to pump off every once in a while. You got to climb up on top. So if it was me, I'd probably bring a jacket, a hoodie, a couple pairs of pants, that kind of thing. If you're flatbed, same thing. You're outside a lot, especially when you're strapping, chaining, tarping. Those are all things that you're gonna have to keep. You're gonna keep account for, because of what if you get to a place it's pouring rain and you've got to strap up and blah blah blah. Right, so you're going to need a rain jacket and things like that. So, but that's stuff you talk to your trainer about. He might tell you to bring an extra flashlight, a flashlight which you can get at Walmart, a pair of gloves. He might tell you to bring, who knows, make sure you have your chargers and this and that. He'll tell you anything extra you might need, like your Atlas, your 2023 Atlas. He might tell you to bring that, or 2024, depending on when you see this video, or 2025. But bring your Atlas, your map. He might tell you that, especially if you've never really used an Atlas or a map. He'll train you on how to use that map and how the interstate systems work. And if I-5 is on the far left side of the United States, then when you get all the way across the other side, North Carolina, it goes higher. If you've ever looked, if it's an odd number, if it's going to go north and south. If it's even number, goes east and west. So it's pretty easy, but that's all stuff that you'd have to learn if you haven't done it already. So you bring an Atlas, but that's all things you need to talk to your trainer about and what you need to bring on with you in the truck. What you don't want to do is bring a bunch of extra shit. And I see this all the time. I see people taking pictures of like, oh, I'm in TNT, and they take a picture and they've got all kinds of shit. They've got like 3-4 bags and like comforters and blankets and 4 pillows and like just all this stuff. You have to remember, you're on somebody else's truck. And yeah, you have I guess you can call it a personal space up on your top bunk. But you have to understand, like, you're gonna sleep up there sometimes. So you don't want to really have a bunch of shit up there, like 2, 3, 4 bags, and you have to figure out how you're gonna sleep up there with all this extra crap that you brought. But beyond that, that's everything else is basically his. And he might give you a little cubby, like what do you call it, a compartment to put your stuff in if you got anything. But for instance, like my trainer, he didn't give me shit. I don't have anything. I guess take that back. On the passenger side in the Cascadia, there's a compartment up top, right above your head, and I sometimes use that to put my headset in. I'll put my wallet in there. But he didn't say specifically that's my little area. He didn't say that. So yeah, I mean, it's just, that's one of those things that you got to talk to your trainer about and kind of be mindful about bringing all this extra crap that you don't need. Now, when you get your own truck, the first thing you need to do is tell them, hey, I need to be routed home. I need to pick up some extra clothes. I need this, I need that, that's when you do that. That's when you go and do that. And even then, you're not going to have a ton of money to go blow, to get like a microwave and your, refrigerator and all this extra stuff you're going to want. It's going to take a couple weeks for you to build up. That way you can go and do that. You can also go to the company store and the priming company store, and you can it has like a tab basically, and you can pay it off, for each settlement. But I can tell you, you're going to pay a premium for like one of the fridges there. They want like $800, and it's like tiny, and it's a little tiny fridge when you can get a better one, a bigger one, and a cheaper one from like Lowe's. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, is there some things you can probably get from the company store that'll be worth it? Probably. Yeah, it's right there. It's convenient, whatever. But more bigger stuff, like microwave and all that, get that shit from Walmart or something. But if it's like something right there that you need, that you can use, then great. Yeah, you can do that, but I wouldn't get anything from them, not like a GPS or anything like that. You can find better deals and just have it ordered to your house. And if you don't have a house, you can have it ordered to, I guess, this terminal or wherever, your friend's house or wherever you want to get ordered at. But I wouldn't really use a company store for that kind of stuff. So that's if you get in your own truck. So once you get on their truck, now you've gotten on their truck. They'll more than likely they'll kind of look in the area of where you live and see if there's a truck stop or something you guys can meet up at, and that's where you guys will meet. You'll meet up, and more than likely that'll be your drop off point for home time. Everything, it'll probably be the same place you use all the time, but you'll get picked up. You'll meet him or her. You'll put your stuff up on the top bunk, and that's basically from the time you get done with your purple badge and the time you get picked up from your trainer. Once you get on the truck, you basically will talk about who's going to be driving, how it's going to work. And this is kind of the time where you need to pay attention, right? So you don't just get on the truck and be naive, right? Don't just get on the truck and think, oh, well, he's going to take care of everything. He's not. There's going to be trainers out there, and I'm not saying every trainer is like this, but there are going to be trainers out there that will literally try to, for lack of a better word, they're going to try to fuck you. Right? They're going to try and get you to drive every single hour, every single mile. They'll have you drive 10.5 hours, and then they're going to get up and drive 4 hours. That way they get all this plenty of sleep, and you're doing all the work, and yet they're still making the same amount of money. Their truck's making a ton of money, right? This is the time where you really need to pay attention and talk about how the driving hours are going to work. Am I going to drive my clock? Are you going to drive your clock? How many hours are we driving per day? That's when you kind of talk to them about that. And really that will let them know that you kind of have a clue of what's going on. You're not going to screw me over, right? That's when they kind of like, they know, and maybe your trainer won't be like that. Maybe he won't do that. He's like, look, you'll drive 8 hours, I'll drive 8 hours or whatever, however much time, if you get tired, you get tired. Right. So, whatever works for y'all, then that's where it works for y'all. But that's the time you really start to pay attention and kind of figure out everything. You learning how to feel. At that point, you'll probably start to learn how to fuel the truck, which is pretty easy. Honestly, there's a couple ways to do it. You can just use your Prime ID, swipe it, and if you have a physical rewards card, you can do that. I'm going to use my app. So I downloaded the app. So you need Pilot, the TA, the Loves, Road Ranger. I know I'm missing one. There's probably a major one. Anyways, but what is it? I9. There's a bunch of different little area things to get. But download all that stuff if you want to use like a digital version, right? If you want like a more of a hard copy and you want the actual card, then you just go in and say, hey, I need a rewards card. Tell them I'm a professional driver and I need a rewards card, and that's it. And then you just set it up. With Prime, Loves gets unlimited showers, Pilots. I think you got to get over 50 gallons to get a credit. It's 1 credit, so you'll fuel a lot more, and you'll fuel a lot actually. So you'll get plenty of credits. So they tell you in training and they bang it into your head, oh, you don't ever go more than 3 days without a shower. And if you do, call your fleet manager, blah, blah, blah. At that point, you should have talked already to your trainer and said, well, how often will we be taking showers? I'm a big guy, so I like to take showers. And I try to take showers probably every other day. So like every 2 days, basically, I try to take showers. Now, sometimes you can't do that. So, but you can usually talk to your trainer and say, hey, man, I need to take a shower, But my first trainer was just a complete asshole. So he was just like I was like inconveniencing him or something to take a shower. I'm sorry, I don't want to smell like shit for 4 or 5 days before I finally take a shower. Especially when you have access to a Loves and you get unlimited showers, why the hell would it be a problem, right? So, anyways, that's something you talk to your trainer about to make sure you guys are on the same page about hygiene. Make sure you're going to be putting on deodorant probably every other day or every day because there's going to be sometimes where you can't just get into a shower or whatever. So I highly suggest bringing baby wipes. They aren't the end all be all, but they do they temporarily will kind of stop that smell that people get. So It's a good little mini bath. You can wipe down whatever you need to wipe down. You can do it behind the curtains or whatever. Sometimes trainer guys go use the restroom. So, what I would do is he'd be right back. I go to use the restroom. So I'll say, okay, cool. So I go to the back. I'll shut the curtains and I'll grab my baby wipes and I'll start wiping whatever real quick. Just real fast before he comes back, and then throw it in the trash, and that's it. So. But you can always jump out and use the restroom to do that. Yeah, so that's how the shower system works, really, when it comes to like hygiene and things like that. And if you notice, if you hear what I'm saying a lot, talk to your trainer. Talk to your trainer. Talk to your trainer. A lot of this stuff will be worked out if you just talk to your trainer, and so you guys are all on the same page about how it works. If you're concerned about food. If you're maybe a more healthier person, maybe that's something you talk to you about your trainer to let them know, I don't want to eat junk food and blah, 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 and eat truck stop food. And, honestly, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to eat truck stop food. And they do have healthy options, but they're going to be expensive, So a lot of times you can run in, you get to a truck stop that has a Subway, or you let them know, hey, do you mind if I go get a couple of groceries? I'm a vegan or whatever it might be going on, and can I use your fridge? Don't just assume that because you're on the truck, you get to use their shit, right? So you need to talk to them about that. Hey, I eat a lot of fruit, but do you mind if we go to a Walmart or something, I can pick up some fruit and use the fridge? If not, it's cool. I can figure something out. I can get like a little lunchbox with an ice pack in it, and just make sure you guys are on the same page when it comes to that. Now, once you've gotten through all of that stuff, right? You talk to your trainer, you've kind of figured out you guys are both on the same page and you're ready to roll, right? Now, once it comes, so now you've got to work towards 50,000 miles, which is fucking ridiculous, and I can't believe they think that's a good idea, but whatever, 50,000 miles. There's a lot of confusion about how the miles work, and I know that because I was confused when I first heard it. So I know that when you guys are trying to figure this stuff out, you are confused. I know that you are. So 50,000 miles is all dispatched miles, and in my last video we talked about this. It was actually more for somebody else, but it's all dispatched miles, right? So that means if you have to deadhead for 1,000 miles, and then when you get there you have a 1,000-mile load, that's 2,000 miles that's going towards your training miles, all dispatched miles. So what I think what a lot of people thought was, oh, well, we got this load and it's 900 deadhead, but the it's actually only loaded 500 miles. There's only 500 loaded miles. So I'm only going to get the 500 miles. No, you don't just get the 500 miles. You get that 900 plus that 500 for a total of whatever, so that's how the miles work when it comes to your training miles. Everything is on there. And if you look on the app, because you'll have access to the app when you have your app, your Prime Inc. app, when you're on the truck, you'll be assigned to the truck, so you can see the loads. Now, you won't be able to see some stuff, like how much it is and all that. Only they can see that. But you'll be able to see how many miles it is, and it'll tell you. It'll say empty miles, loaded miles, total miles. And so if you want, you can just get those total miles and write them down. You can keep track of your own, or you can send a message to dispatch and they'll let you know what your training miles are at. And then that'll kind of like help you keep track on your own if you really want to. Which I highly suggest. I mean, it's kind of like when you work at a job and they tell you to keep track of your hours. It's the same thing, right? Keep track of your miles. That way they can't say, well, you only have this and not this. Well, what happened to the 1,000 miles that I had? I'm not saying they do that, but it's better to keep track of it, to know that they don't do that, than to just hope, that they, that they're keeping track for you, right? So, then once now you're doing your dispatched miles and you're driving, here and there. A lot of people keep saying that the 900 per week isn't minimum wage. It is minimum wage. And the way it works is it's roughly $12 an hour for 10 hours, right? So I think that works out to like 120. But basically you're getting paid 120. It's 128. It's 128 per day. And if I had a actually, you know what? I think I do have a let me go to my email. I didn't realize I would have this. But I actually have a Prime Inc. settlement. I just got to remember where it's at. So if you want to bear with me, here it is. Okay, so I'm looking at mine right now. So it is, where's the base pay? It usually tells you 128.57. That's what it is. So it's 128.57 at a wage rate of $12 an hour. So that's how they kind of do it. And then when you're looking at it, it'll tell you like your duty hours. So for May 10th, it was 10.916. And then Thursday, it says 0.000. So we might have been unloading or we were waiting for a load, but I still get paid. So the total amount for that day, even though I didn't do anything, was 128.57. So then that Friday, the next day, I got 13.53 hours. So they added 4 additional hours, and for a total hours of 17 at $12, that's $210.38. So I get the higher amount. So if you go over 128.57, you get the higher amount. So for instance, on that Friday, I made 210.38 for the day. That's what I get for the day. I don't get the 128. Okay. So when it was all said and done, when after taxes and all that, I grossed. Okay, but I say before taxes, I grossed at that $1,097.85. After taxes and everything, I netted $726.04, so $726.04. And I completely forgot. I should have added this to the video the way you guys can see it. But that's basically how it works with your, with your TNT. Maybe in the next video, I'll probably try to do it tomorrow. Maybe in the next video, I'll sit down and I'll show TNT. I'll show my TNT settlements. Of course, I gotta block some stuff out, but I'll try to show you guys my settlements. That way you can you can see what you can expect to get. It all depends on basically the more you drive, the more you're gonna get paid. But be careful with that. Like I said, be careful with that. Don't drive so much to the point of like you're doing all the work. It's supposed to be a team truck, even though you're learning. It is a team truck, right? So don't get to a point of you doing all the work. So that's basically how it works. And then, as you get down the road and you start learning more and more and more and doing your backing and all that stuff, it gets a little easier. Now I need to kind of stress this. Do not, and I repeat, do not let your trainer do all the backing. I don't care how nervous you are. I don't care how scary you think it is. At some point, you're going to be by yourself, and Prime is thinking that you're learning how to back this truck up and getting better and better at it. Do not let your trainer do all the backing because you're afraid. At some point, when you get solo and you go to a truck stop, you're going to have to back in. At some point, when you get to a customer, you're going to have to back into these docks. So you cannot let your trainer do everything for you. You can't let them hold your hand. You decided to go do this. You decided to be a truck driver, and you knew that you're going to have to be driving a big truck and trailer. You know you're going to have to back up, to get into these spots. So you can't just you can't just be the one that like, oh man, I don't know what happened and blah blah blah, and then try to blame your fucking trainer for it. No, you have to be the one to learn this stuff. So please don't don't do it. Like you need to make sure that you're not being lazy. Trainers, don't sit there and hold your trainee's hand. Let them back up. Let them get out and do it, the check-in process. Go inside with them and pretend that you're the trainee and have them tell them, okay, we're here. You're gonna go check in. I'm not gonna say anything if you need help. Just let me know. And here's all the paperwork. Grab your phone. And let's go in and check in and do all that. And let them talk to them. Let them get used to talking to these customers. Letting them do dropping hooks and all that stuff. Don't get out and tell them what to do. Grab this, do that, check the lights, blah blah blah. Don't do that, man. Let them do it. Don't hold their hand, so it's only going to help them in the long run. Okay. So that's basically what your TNT is like. That's basically how TNT works. You're sharing the truck and you're learning and driving. If you need to go home, then you can let your trainer, hey, I need to go home. I got this going on or whatever. Or you don't even got to tell them, say, hey, I got some stuff going on. I need to head to the house. And so he'll call and say, hey, he needs to be routed to the house. He's got some stuff to take care of. He needs to be home by this date. And you just let him know probably about a week or two in advance. Let him know, hey, I got to be home. It's that simple. It's that easy. You don't have to sit there and only go home when they go home. Let them know. Talk to them. If you don't talk and don't say anything and just assume that they're going to be able to read your mind, you're going to be in for a bad time. You're going to be in for a bad time. As far as how much things cost on the road, holy crap, expensive. So I try not to buy a whole lot of stuff from a truck stop. Now, sometimes I do. Like, it depends on what I need. Like when they have the big, long 10-foot chargers, I got 2 of those. Just because I didn't know if I would ever need that one that long, and 10 foot that'll reach all the way from the front to the back. So I grabbed 2 of those. I think typically I try to find the deals, like when it comes to drinks and stuff. So I'll get like the 3 for $5 Gatorades, or I'm sorry, is it two? I think it's 2 for $6. It's 2 for $6 Gatorades, and then like 2 for $5 for Monsters, and I'll get the core water. A lot of times they're 2 for $5 or 2 for $6. So I try to find the deals when it comes to that stuff. I try to stay away from all the gas station food and stuff like that. Sometimes you can't help it, but it is what it is. Hopefully that helps you with your TNT, like what to expect for your TNT journey. It's not that complicated. Once you basically get to that point of like you've gotten comfortable now, you've talked to your trainer, you figured out the food situation, all that stuff. And even then, like when you go home, you can still, like if you brought some stuff in your bag that you found out you didn't need, man, drop that shit off. Drop it off and maybe replace it. Like, I didn't need 4 pairs of pants, so let me take 2 back and I'll bring 2 pairs of shorts instead. And like I said, I brought basketball shorts. I got a pair of Prime shorts. I've got some Dickies shorts. I don't have any. I think I have 1 pair of like pants, and then some sweats, and that's it. And there's been so far, I think one time we went to Oakland this past week, where at night it got pretty damn cold. It was like 50 degrees, and I just threw on my sweats, and then in the morning it warmed up. I took them back off. I didn't even take my shorts off. I just put them on over. But anyways, once you figure all that stuff out, and there's extra stuff that you brought that you didn't need, just take it back home. When you go on home time, say, oh, I'm gonna take this, and this. I didn't need this. So, and it makes it a little bit easier, right? So, for those that have more questions, maybe you have more specific questions about what to bring, comment down below, and I'll try to help you with what I know about what to bring for your TNT. Some stuff you can probably ask your recruiter about when early, before you ever even come to Prime. But the biggest thing is when you first get that first phone call from your trainer and he introduces himself or herself, that's the time to ask them about any more specific questions, like, oh, I have an inhaler, or should I bring this, and this, and you'll communicate basically all the way up until you get picked up, so that way if you have more questions, he'll tell you, hey man, if you have more questions, man, call me. If you were, just text me, shoot me a text, and I'll give you a call or whatever, and we can figure it out. But so you can call them and ask them, hey, am I going to need this, and this, or should I not bring this, and this? They can usually help you, right? So they can usually help you. Now, they should be thinking about it as if you're in TNT, right? It's not your truck. So they'll be thinking about it like, oh, well, let me make sure. Does he really need, 6 pairs of pants, or can he get away with like 3, and then just, that way you can kind of not have so much stuff. I suggest, in my opinion, 2 pillows, a good blanket. That's really all you need. You don't need more than that. If you're trying to bring the whole damn house with you, you're going to be in for a bad time, because you're going to have crap all over the place. You're going to get into arguments with your trainer. Nobody wants you to bring all that bullshit with you. There was even one where I watched the girl. She was in training. She was in orientation. She brought her Xbox with her. What do you think you're going to do with that fucking Xbox when you go into TNT? So you're just going to be lugging around an Xbox with you the whole time? And to me, that's people like didn't come down here to like really want to work towards, being good in TNT and being good in PSD and training and all that stuff. If you brought an Xbox, you're planning on having a lot of downtime. Honestly, you really yes, you'll have downtime, but not that much downtime. You need to be able to sit there and work on your pre-trips and all that stuff, and that way by the time you get to TNT training, you can make it a little bit easier on your TNT trainer, instead of him having to basically hold your hand and teach you how to hit the damn accelerator and when to hit the brake. At least he doesn't have to treat you, like you're a little baby. So other than that, that's all I have for what you should be, what to expect for TNT and what you should need. If you have more questions, man, leave a comment down below. You can also join our Discord. We can have full-blown conversations in there. It'd be a lot easier instead of going back and forth on a comment. But if you have more questions, you can either join our Discord below, which is completely free. You don't got to pay anything. You just invite, click on the link, and it'll take you there. Or you can leave a comment if it's not so important, and I'll try to get to it as fast as I possibly can. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that you would need extra stuff for TNT. Like I said, if I missed anything, which I'm sure that I did, just ask down below, and I'm more than willing to help you guys out and get it figured out. But other than that, guys, be safe. I appreciate all the love and support as always. and we'll catch you guys on the next one.